Okay, we're in office hours. We're taking a video while we describe this, which may fail, and then in case we'll just throw out the video. Um, but the question is about pointers to pointers. Pointer to pointers.c. So, the first thing is just like emphasizing that C is very type driven. And so let's just make up an example. Here's an address, here's another address, here's another address. And you see these are spaced 8 bytes out, right? So these are 8 bytes away in hexadecimal. And here we'll make a couple more. And so we're only going to do 2 types here. So the only 2 types we'll accept are pointers and doubles. And the reason I want those to be the only 2 types is they both take 8 bytes, right? And so now we've got 6 memory locations. And I'm going to put in, so let's just pretend here. There's some number of bits in here, right? Who knows what these bits are, right? I'm just typing random bits. And then those bits have interpretations. And and so if you're interpreting it as, so here's an address, sorry, here's the bits, and then we can say, well, what is this as a double, and what is it as an address? And again, I just want to be clear, this is just all made up bits, and when I give it an as double, I don't really mean these bits go to that double. And so let's say the double is 3.0 and 4.0 and 5.5 and -6 and -10.5 and 3.1415. Okay, but we can also, these bits could be interpreted as an address, and so I'm going to make one of these addresses be like, I don't know, 0x00, that's the null pointer, right? But another one of the addresses might be like 8,000. So like some of these things as addresses might be other places in this scheme, right? So there's a leap here that these bits mean meaningful things as doubles and as addresses. But let's just pretend that's the case, okay? So do you understand what I'm after? There's some bits. Those bits fill up 8 bytes. And, if you interpret the bits as one thing, you get the doubles. And if you interpret them as another thing, it's an address. Okay? And the addresses you interpret these bits as happen to be, I'm setting this up in a certain way, addresses that are meaningful to us because they're the addresses that the memory sits in. So C is really, type is super important to C. So if I say a double and x, double star x is at 8,000, and then I say, what is the value of x? So value of x could be x0, or it could be like that. Value of x, right? And by the way, this thing here, as I'm sure you've caught, when you're declaring a pointer, when you're declaring a variable and use an asterisk, it's a pointer. When you're doing like a expression and use a pointer, it's the dereference operator, right? So that's the value at that location. And so in this case, if x is pointing to 8,000, and we're saying this is a pointer to a double, and we ask what's the value there, it's 3.0, okay? But, and this is where it gets tricky, we could say there's a pointer to a pointer. Oh, I'm going to get myself screwed up here. Uh-oh. This video was actually going well, and I'm nervous we're gonna lose it. But if we say that this is equal to 8,000, well, now what does y0 mean? What does dereference of y mean? It means the value of y, and the value of y would be the same bits, but now we're interpreting it as an address. When we dereference this pointer, we got a double. When we dereference this pointer, we'll get a pointer to a double. And so this as an address means that the value of y will now be 0x 1000. So now let's do this again. What if I say double star y equals 0x 8028? And then I can again say what's the value of y, and as an address it would be 0x8018. But I can say what's the value of that address, and I could start chasing it around, right? And the value at that address is the value at 8018, and that would be a double, and we get a -6. Okay, so I guess the point I want to make is the type is really important in how to interpret it. And if the type is a pointer to a pointer and you dereference it, that's just getting you the first pointer, and that pointer is itself a pointer to another location. So good. So I'm going to stop this, and I'm going to take another video where we're going to do something meaningful with pointers to pointers. But I'm going to screw up at some point. I think this was enough that people might find it interesting. So I want to save that.